It's the end of the day. It's time to close up shop. However, something tells you to stay back for a bit. For the next hour or two, you'll be staying after hours. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Double After Hours podcast. Another edition of Work Stories. Oh, boy.
Of course.
I'm Aaron Gresser. I'm with Charles Robinson.
What's up, turd burglars?
Yes. The return of the turd burglar.
Of course.
And a special guest today, Phil Arcaro.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Welcome to the nonsense.
Yes, I can tell by now that it's no, but seriously, it's a good podcast. It's an honor and a privilege to be on such an esteemed show like the Double A After.
You don't have to suck up that hard. You're good.
No.
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding.
He's so ready.
Podcast sucks. I'm here as a courtesy.
Why to show up?
Plot twist on the caller, that first caller on that first show.
That would be funny.
It's all come full circle.
I know we already said it, but we're doing Work Stories again because our first Work Stories episode has been doing pretty good in terms of downloads. So thank you so much for supporting us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Belgium guy.
And we figured, you know what? Let's pump out a sequel and see if it does just as well. Who wants to start? Because I don't have a long, elaborate speech like I do with some of these other episodes. The Work Stories, we're just here.
Here we are. Okay. I guess I'll start because I just thought of a story.
Okay.
So if you listen to the first episode, I used to work at Zap Zone of Waterford.
Way.
Yeah. And boy, howdy, was that quite an experience there. So there was a graduation party for the seniors of Waterford Kettering. So they rented out the entire building, and so it was basically a big private party, right?
Okay.
So all the seniors were there. And of course, Waterford Kettering's a big school. Yeah. So there's a lot of seniors that were there. And they were having this whole big extravaganza. And the problems started from the very beginning. Because actually, they started before the whole graduation party started because apparently they hadn't paid in full.
Oh.
So there was...
Like what? They gave you a Monopoly money and just called it a day?
They pitched in a couple bucks and then it was over. So we're like, okay, this is not good. You need to pay the full amount before you can, have fun.
Right.
But I guess our manager, he just said, oh, okay, it's fine. They'll get the full amount later. Sure. Which wasn't the greatest move. But so flash forward a little bit here. There was this magician that came in, and he was supposed to do this whole big magic show.
What?
For seniors?
For all the seniors in the high school. And so everybody was supposed to, at a certain time, was supposed to go and, go to the magic show,
pay their respects to Bootleg Houdini.
Right. But the problem is that nobody wanted to do it.
Well, yeah,
of course.
Right. So what happened is that our manager decided the best course of action to get everybody to go to the magic show was to cut power to the building.
Excuse me, what?
It gets even worse.
Oh my God.
Even better, if you will.
I like the idea someone's in the bathroom just having a hard time in the toilet or whatever, just trying to figure this stuff out.
It's over.
Someone was on the VR.
No! Were they upside down?
And they were upside down.
No!
Oh, no!
And so they shut the power off, and the ride just stopped.
Yeah. Upside
down. And so this guy was kind of like, what's going on? And at first I thought, we were having a power outage or something. It's Waterford Zap Zone. That happens all the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, we're having some kind of power failure. What's going on? And so I call on the radio. I'm like, hey, we still got a guy on the VR that's upside down. What are you going to do about this? Man. I don't want to name any names here.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay, my manager's name was Devin.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, Pimp Daddy Devin?
Yeah, Pimp Daddy Devin. Yeah. That's an inside joke that no one will understand.
I don't want to know.
No, it's best to not know, okay? But anyways, we've already scarred you enough, Phil, okay?
Yeah.
But so I'm going to be like, you need to turn the power back on. You need to get this guy off the VR. So I don't remember exactly what we did. I think we did the manual turn or something to get him off the ride. But everybody eventually just went and sat in this magic show in the dark.
They didn't turn the power back on?
No. No,
What?
They just literally did the whole magic show.
So, like, was it like all practical magic? Like, oh, I have a bunny on my ass.
He did a bunch of like hypnosis. I remember that. It was like a bunch of hypnosis, and then like after like 20, 30 minutes, he just ended it. But,
I'm done.
But of course, they were doing all the magic show, and the power was off, so there was nothing for us to do. So
you watched it?
I didn't watch it. I went around back with the assistant manager. I've talked about him before, Chris. Mm-hmm. If you remember from the first episode, he was the one that like kind of pushed me behind him when the drunk guy was yelling at us.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So he just kind of went out back, and he was having a smoke, and we were just like having like a real talk. just talking about life, and then like after
life is one big magic show if you really think about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have the illusion of choice.
So eventually they turned the power back on, and the whole, the craptastic party returned. But I just don't understand why he cut the power to the entire building.
Because freaking Houdini needed the space to himself.
So that I will never forget, having to try to get the guy off the VR.
That's one way to get people's attention right there.
And then there was like a bunch of people that were trying to get into the building, like just regular customers. They were like, "Oh, would come in?" It was like, "No, it's a private party." They're like banging on the
Was
door.
there no signage?
No. No,
why wouldn't there be?
Why would they make a sign that says, "Oh, it's a private party"?
Then again, even with signage, they would probably still be banging on.
Oh, of course, because nobody reads.
No, right. I learned that all the time just because of work and this podcast where people just don't like to read.
No, they don't read.
Goes out to you, random Facebook guy.
Yeah. Going out to me yesterday that didn't read that that one episode was next.
Yeah. You didn't know, like, man, is worst case scenario next? And like I made like the trailer for it Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair,
keep in mind this was Wednesday afternoon when he asked this.
Yeah, and I was also like on death's door.
It's true.
With being sick. I'm much better now.
Yeah.
So not contagious, I promise.
Good.
Nobody's gonna get, nobody's gonna die after this.
Go check out worst case scenario.
Oh.
Or not, I don't care. I wasn't on it, so I'm not. But
yeah, no, it was one of our more mid episodes. Sorry, Bryce, but
yeah, that was. I don't know. That's not a work story. That's more just us lamenting story.
Yeah.
But Phil, Aaron's been hyping you up about your work stories for months now.
Oh boy.
And he's been going on about how you worked everywhere.
I did, yeah. I my first job, I worked as a janitor, then I worked as a gate attendant, then for a beach, and that was fun. TV, radio, I worked everywhere. But there was a particular story.
Oh no!
Speaking, not from your place of business.
Oh no! Not Taps unrelated.
I was in that power outage. I was the magician.
Small world.
Plot twist.
Plot twist.
So if you know, like in the western part of Michigan, they have, like near Lake Michigan and stuff, they have paid parking for like all the beaches and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
We had sort of a situation where I lived on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. So where I worked was in the town of Sandwich. So essentially that's basically, if you're going over the bridges to Cape Cod, that's basically the first town you go over.
Okay.
So I worked as basically a parking lot attendant.
Okay.
Right. So I was making sure that, people paid their money, that people parked properly, and that people weren't really causing a scene on the beach.
Sure.
So, this was in my first year. I did this for 2 years. This was the last day of the season for me.
Okay.
And so it was at the most popular beach in town. And, it was a cloudy day. So it's very similar to, what's going on outside when we're recording this right now.
You walked in the rain.
Yes, I did.
Really? It's raining right now?
It is raining right now.
No way. All right.
Yeah. It's a trooper.
Yeah. So it was cloudy. It was gray. It was just bad, right?
Yeah. Bad
times. So these group of people, like 3 or 4 people come in, probably at about like 2:00.
Yeah.
And our spiel is, parking's, $20. There's no refunds, but if you're, like a resident of the town, or, you're in one of the nearby bases, like National Guard bases, you can get a pass for free, but that's first come, first serve. So I was telling him this, cause they didn't have any cash at the time. We were cash only. So I told them, go down to the store 2 miles down the road. There's an ATM over there. Or you can go to the base and you can get your pass. So they go back down to the base. They try and get their pass. They can't get their pass. It's about half an hour later. They come back up.
Yeah.
And, we were telling them they about the parking pass. They pay the money for the pass. It's all's well and good, right?
Sure.
So they come back about maybe half an hour later.
Okay.
And like I said, it was cloudy. It wasn't rainy. It was just really cloudy.
Sure.
And humid and yucky. So they come back.
Perfect beach weather.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
They come back. They say, "Oh, we there were a lot of bugs at the beach. We
stole our pass."
Exactly.
Flew away with it.
Not quite, but they said,
Falls in the ocean.
Yeah. No, but they said, "Oh, we want our money back." I'm like, I'm sorry, we can't give you your money back. We just told you there are no refunds.
Can't do that.
But she's still very insistent on getting a refund. Mm-hmm. So I keep telling her, hey, you're not supposed to get a refund. She gets angrier and angrier, and it gets to the point where I have to say. She says, "I'm going to call the rec department and I'm going to get a refund." And I said, "You're not getting a refund, so that's too bad." So,
and that's that tone.
Yes, that exact tone. Okay. I was like, I think, and she was furious,
fuming.
Yes, exactly. And she just angrily left in a huff. And I was with another person. Me and my partner. We were like, I did I do well? She said, "Oh yeah, you did good." Yeah. So another half an hour goes by. We go from the beach back to the recreation department where we get our radios and clipboards and stuff like that for the day.
Yep.
And the receptionist at the rec department is laughing with the recreation director. And she says, "Oh yeah, there was this angry lady on the phone trying to get a refund." And she said, basically, from what I've been told, she said, "Oh yeah, we don't do refunds," and then she hung up on him.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So she had like a double strike.
Yes, double strike. Oh, and there was another time where this was the only time where I didn't accept cash from anyone.
Okay.
So there was...
It was a favor.
No. But...
floozy.
No.
Good Lord.
I was working in another pond, just down the other side of town, and... I see there's this couple that comes by with their kid.
Yeah.
And, I'm telling her the sort of same thing. There's, it's passes $20 as cash only. All sales are final, blah, blah, blah. And so all of a sudden, we get to the transaction. She gets something out of her bra. Turns out it's a sweaty $20 bill.
Awesome.
And I'm like, do you have another form of currency that we can exchange this with? Like
pesos, euros, anything?
Yes, anything but sweaty
Greek
boob
dollar.
money.
Yeah.
She pulls hold on, like a credit card, like outside the other side of her bra.
Wow.
Oh, and speaking of credit cards, the next year we took away the whole cash thing because it was 2020 and COVID times, and there was one time where we caught a whole family trying to sneak into the pond through the woods. Like they parked at one of the nearby grocery stores. They were booking it through the woods trying to get a spot. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
First of all, like you're just making this harder than it has to be for you. And why?
Just going on a little adventure?
Exactly. I guess so. So.
Wow.
But that does not compare to the times that you and I have witnessed at the other station.
Yeah, the other station.
Name it. It's not.
We can name it already.
But before we get to that, I will tell my one work story of maybe a couple for today.
Okay.
This has kind of been hyped up as a Phil and Aaron tell-all.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll leave it be
Phil
as
and
such.
Aaron, yeah.
Okay.
But I do have one story. So for those of y'all who remember, I work at Jimmy John's right now.
Yeah.
I'm a driver. I make
You're a sandwich artist.
No, I'm not. More like
Really?
a sandwich criminal. But more like a sandwich slave, if I may reference the radio show. But
wow.
So this is my first day on the job, and it was packed. Like, it was super busy. Everything was a total mess. Everyone was running around with their kind of heads like cut off like chickens.
Oh, it has to be
insanity. And this is like a Sunday afternoon, just total nonsense, right? And there was this one guy who was also working with me. Now, I won't dog on him too much because I think he was on the spectrum. So part of this might have just been he was a little naive and he just didn't know some things, which is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
And but this is we'll get to it. But basically, so the best way I can describe my first shift at Jimmy John's is that I clean dishes all day, which is perfectly okay with me. Cleaning dishes is not that hard. If you can't do it, you're dumb. Anyway, but
it's calling everybody out.
You're not allowed to be an adult if you can't clean a dish. I'm sorry, but
forever a child.
You're not former child. You're just child.
You're just child. Okay.
Permanent child.
You are just bad at this game. But I never saw the event that happened in question, but I don't remember this guy that I just previously described his name was, so we'll just call him Cam.
Okay.
So Cam here was supposed to clean the bathrooms, right? And for some reason, he took a really long time cleaning this male bathrooms. Now, that wasn't the end of the world, because even though like the first hour of the shift was super busy, it did kind of clear out as the day went on. So again, not the end of the world, but still, like, he's in there for a long, long time,
which is concerning.
And eventually he gets out. We're like, all right, whatever. So I didn't see what this event that happened. This was just hearsay. But from what I understand, he basically got like crap on his gloves, right? Because it's the bathroom. I guess someone had a snafu in there. I don't know. And instead of throwing it in the trash, like you probably should in a restaurant.
No, probably you should.
With feces on your glove.
Yeah.
It was just sitting there in the back room. And I never saw him return for another shift. And normally this is where I'd end the story. Except Monday.
Oh no.
The return.
The
return of the king. And so keep in mind, I'm a delivery driver, so I'm not in the kitchen as much as some of my other coworkers, which is okay with me because I make more money than them. But
there you go.
So I'm driving there, and I'm about to go out for another delivery, and I see that man.
Oh no.
Cam himself.
Oh no.
Like in not a Jimmy John's uniform, like in like kind of what you're wearing, Phil, like kind of like a button down, like polo or kind of like collar thing going on.
Okay.
And I have no idea what he was doing there. I don't know if he was trying to get his job back. Or just like going there for sport to order a sandwich. Sport. I'm in my car. I'm about to leave to go deliver someone their mediocre sandwich. And he looks at me. I give him like a little wave and I drive away. I didn't mention it to anyone.
Yeah.
Because maybe they just like kicked him out because he's a health violation like Rod Cameron was to this day.
Of course.
But yeah. So, guys, I won't disclose what Jimmy John's I work at. You could figure it out if you use process of elimination, if you slightly pay attention.
Yeah.
But
the context clues.
Right.
Yes.
But, guys, don't do that. I don't even know if you wash his hands. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
So that could have been a big problem.
That's nasty.
Speaking of that.
Oh, my God.
What's the segue? I'm dying to know.
So it's Sapzone of Waterford.
Yeah, you will disclose where you work.
I will disclose where I work because that whole building is a fever dream. I was cleaning one time, and so there was this game that it was called Time Freak. It was kind of in the back. Basically, it was like certain lights light up and these like buttons, and you have to hit the buttons as fast as possible. There's two sides, two players, whatever. Yeah. And I was cleaning in there one time. And inside the crevice, like, between like one of the panels,
a rat.
No, there was a condom.
Oh,
and it was huge.
Oh,
and it had
someone was freaking a Time Freak.
Yeah, baby.
And there was indeed children.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's what happened.
In the condom. Yeah.
In the condom. Whoa.
And so
were they?
So
were they getting onto the porn?
Yeah, right to the part on the TV. Right.
Oh my god, dude.
So I
gotta stay strapped to the zap.
No, you do, because you never know what's gonna happen in that freaking building, dude. So I had a glove on. I just kind of pulled it out. I was like, okay, yay! I haven't quit yet. Woo.
God, that's like, imagine like that's like a college story right there. Like, I got it on at Zap Zone.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it sort of ties in. There's a lot of getting it on at Zap Zone, it seems.
Really?
God.
I mean, we told that once in the first episode. If you listen to that one,
right?
There was the
lesbians,
the lesbian special in the in the other room. Speaking of bodily functions, too, there was oh boy, there was a lot of piss in the ninja zone.
Well, yeah, because occupied by mostly like 5-year-olds.
Yeah, and there was one time this kid was going down the slide, just went all the way down.
Oh no!
Just all the way down.
He wanted less friction.
Yeah,
wanted to go faster.
He just made his own water slide.
Oh,
yeah,
I wasn't gonna go there, but all right.
Oh. Yeah, and you had the
artificial water slide.
Artificial water slide. Yeah, so to bring the bucket and the mop in there just for like 10 minutes, just cleaning that entire
contemplating
slide.
life's choices.
Oh yeah, definitely contemplating my life choices on why the flick I wanted to work there. But
I was there when you interviewed.
Yeah, you were. You were
walking around just like, man, this place is all right.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes.
And then it turned terrible after a while. But hey. So Zap
Speaking
Zone.
of terrible, Phil, you work for WPON.
I did.
Well, you did. That's true. You had your last show.
Do you want to back this up, Aaron?
Yeah. No.
So
I can confirm. Yes.
Yes.
It happened.
So we had a caller. I don't know if you know the show that we had before my show had a rebroadcast.
Yes.
And one of the regular broadcasters, called in, made requests, and we told her, hey, the show's not on right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to request a song for the show? She said, oh yeah, let's play this song. And then
she's always requesting the weirdest stuff too. It's like the most obscure 60s, 70s, 50s songs you've ever heard in your life.
Exactly.
So good luck finding them. Sometimes she's like, can I hear that one song that goes do 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 do?
That does not help.
So one time she played it on the piano. She brought the phone over to the piano and started like playing the melody. And I'm like, I don't know what this is.
That doesn't help. Bro.
That doesn't help at all. Yeah.
Almost said her name.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, I don't know what it was, she just said, oh, I can spell my name.
What? Like just letting us know that she could spell her name.
No way, I can too.
Yeah. So
just for fun?
Yeah, just for fun. Mm-hmm. Why not? Because she always said, like, I want my name on the list. It's like, okay, we'll put your name on, like, what list? But, we'll get your name on the list. That's fine. But every single time, I want my name on the list. But this time, she had to throw in the extra, I could spell my name.
I feel like someone insulted her early that day because, like, she misspelled something. She's like, no.
Yeah, she's going to let everybody know she could spell her name.
Like, she accidentally spelled, like, Co-America, like Co-America. Like, everyone's just dogging on her.
Yeah. So funny.
That was so interesting.
Yeah.
This is a story that you were telling me, and I had the pleasure or displeasure of listening to it live.
Oh, yes, that's right. So there was this time I was working on our sister station, WNZK. I do board hopping there, probably not for long, because, we're
future-proofing.
Future-proofing, I'm thinking about dropping that one, but, But anyways, there was this show on. Not going to name any names here. I'm not going to name any specifics. Well, you know what? We'll name him Todd. We're going to call him Todd.
Todd McFarlane.
Okay. Yeah.
Creator of Spawn.
Yeah, no, we're just going to call him Todd. So Todd does a show on WNZK. For those that don't know, WNZK is an ethnic station. Primarily Arabic, but there are shows from other,
right.
Like there's Polish shows on there. There's a few English shows on there too, but his show is Arabic, and Todd does
what?
Todd has no teeth.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And Todd sounds like he smokes about 7 packs a day.
He has no teeth.
It's both.
Yes. I'm just saying there's a correlation.
Yeah, I know. So when this guy talks, and his show is all in Arabic, so of course I don't understand a word he's saying.
Right.
So when I'm bored upping, I'm just sitting there on my phone because I can't engage with this program at all.
Right.
So he's talking on the air. When he talks, he's
Router.
pretty much, yeah. And in the middle of his program, for no reason, unprovoked, he starts singing.
Ooh.
On the mic.
Was it good?
No. His singing sounded like and that's about all I'll do because everybody's probably turning the podcast off right now.
Right.
But that's what he sounded like.
And he's coughing like half.
Oh, and he's coughing. Oh,
no.
yeah. He's it's like half. Oh, yeah. So he's doing this for like about 5 minutes. 5 solid minutes of singing.
It's a good ballad.
And then, so he brings in CDs, and he also brings in DVDs.
What?
To play on the radio?
How does that work?
So he brings in a portable DVD player, and he hooks it up with the most god-awful cable known to humankind. For those that know audio cables, there's like, you've seen the aux cord. It's got the top part, and then it's got the little rings with like the middle part and then the bottom part, right?
Yeah.
The top part's missing.
Awesome.
So it's only playing like the right channel. So throughout this entire shindig, all you can hear is the right channel. And meanwhile, he's on the mic also singing at the same time.
It's going for the stereo effect there.
And then while all this is happening, he's like clapping and like peeking the mic.
Oh
no! So on the air, you're just hearing like just nuclear sound going over the air. It's like, yeah, no,
like a clapping seal.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's and you know how long his program was?
4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours of
like a rabbit.
Well, it's surprising, but also not surprising.
Yeah.
People pay money to do this.
Yeah. $300 an hour.
For 4 hours.
For 4 hours.
That's $1,200 a show.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Show.
I know the WPON NZK price hikes.
Yeah. Which, if we all collectively own that station, we would.
I'm good.
Yeah, and I know you don't want to have any part of this, but, there'd be a lot of changes we would make around there, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no more clapping seals.
Yeah, no.
Everybody smokes in the building now.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone?
Yeah.
No.
Well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that do.
Really?
Like, and there's no smoking in Chernobyl.
I was about to say, hasn't that been outlawed since like 1964?
Yeah.
Basically.
But he just casually, or the owner and a couple of the shows, just packs a day.
Oh my god.
You can smell the tobacco from like the front of the room.
No, well, yeah. I remember that.
So I sometimes smell it from the hallway.
Oh my god.
No, it's bad times. It is bad times in there, but, I don't think there was any. Speaking of smoking, I don't think there was anything like Zap Zone smoking because everybody just kind of smoked out in the back.
Right, they had the courtesy.
Yeah, they actually had courtesy.
Keep in mind, those windows don't open.
Yeah, right.
Right, yeah.
There was a guy that brought a gun in one time.
What?
Wait, what?
Excuse
this
me,
story
what?
I haven't heard.
Zap Zone gun the story.
Whoa.
So,
What, like he's bringing his real gun to laser tag? He was playing for keeps.
Zap Zone Extreme.
Oh my god.
So,
Jeez.
there was this guy, and he was coming in. He had this big group, right? Mm. And they were all coming in for laser tag. Yeah. So they brought all their stuff, and they in the room where you got your vest on and stuff. There's like a little table where you can set your belongings so they don't get lost, right?
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there. Everybody's taking their stuff off. They're setting it over there. They get their all set up, All right, so I go over. You guys ready? All right, 3, 2, 1, go have fun, right? So they're all in there. I'm sitting in the room, I sit in there in case somebody has an issue. We go get them a new vest or we try to fix their vest or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there, and I glance over the table, and I see a Glock 19 sitting on that table.
Oh!
And I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Huh. So the game's over, and the guy comes back in, and he's got it like on a strap. So like he's like under a shirt, right?
Is the safety on?
Yeah, the safety was on.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
No, he wasn't like an not responsible gun owner.
I mean, well, he brought it to a children's place. I don't get that's not responsible.
I mean, yeah, but you know,
on the echelon of being a terrible gun owner, he's not the absolute worst.
Yeah, he's not the absolute worst.
He's just the worst.
Yeah. So he comes back and he's like, yeah, man, I bring this in. You know, you gotta be careful out there, man.
You gotta stay strapped to the zap.
I'm like, I almost said that to him. I was like, yeah, you gotta be strapped to the zap, man. So he was like, yeah. So, anybody touch my stuff? I was like, no. I just been watching over it. What do I have to do with it? I'm not gonna take it and start shooting people. That's not my motive.
It's dark.
That's a little dark. Yeah, that's not my motive.
Thank God.
Yeah, right. And so I'm sane. Not really.
Supposedly.
I'm a member of this after hours crew. I'm not sane at all.
No.
But no, so he just takes it, he puts it back on, and he was out. And that was the last I saw of the gun guy. I think he left after that.
Didn't like call anyone, just like, hey, this guy brought a gun.
No, I mean
that has to be some kind of felony. You can't.
I mean, it's okay. So
like, that has to be illegal.
I mean, if you have a concealed carry, you're allowed to take it to places, but a place of business is allowed to say if like you're not allowed to have it in the building.
Well, yeah.
If they don't specify that you're not allowed to have it in the building, then yeah, you can take it in. Mm-hmm. But if they specifically have like a sign or they verbally say, hey, we don't allow firearms in here or concealed carry or anything, then you actually cannot take it in. But Zap Zone, to my knowledge, never had any kind of no gun bringy any policy, so he just kind of brought it in and that was it. I'm just glad no kids that's why I sat next to it too, because I was like, I don't want little Jimmy going, ooh, this is a new gun.
It turns into a bad PSA.
Right, yeah. That's gonna be the
God.
next one on the ad council lineup, but yeah. So yeah, don't bring guns to Waterford Zap Zone, I guess.
Feels like everyone would know that, but all right.
Some people don't read or listen. Gotta tell them.
It feels like okay. You can be illiterate and know not to bring a gun in a public place. That's like screaming fire in a movie theater.
Nah, I don't know about that. There are some individuals out there.
That's true. Like Bryce Gustafson. Just kidding. He would never.
Yeah, he would.
Whoa! I was trying to make a little joke, but all right.
No, we're just calling out Bryce today because he's not here.
Aaron's the new Charlie.
Oh no! No, I'm not stealing your thunder. No,
No.
It's impossible.
That's why worst case scenario didn't work.
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
Because it's an awful episode.
I wasn't there to make sexual innuendos for an hour.
But hey, there's a story I really want to tell, and
How does this segue? You have to tell me.
Okay, so we already talked about someone that was a little off. Your Cam poop story.
As my manager describes him, dial-up internet for a brain.
Okay,
his words, not mine.
All right. Well, hey. So this is one of the funniest stories I've ever told in my life, and God. Bryce loves this story. I think I might have told you this one.
That's what I say. If you told Bryce and not me, I would feel jealous.
No, I think
would feel flustered.
I think you have heard the story before. So, there was this kid and his mom that came into the Zap Zone, and the kid was not all there, right? That's not.
I remember this story.
Oh boy. And he had this like mega protected iPad.
Ooh,
like it was like the one with like the extreme case.
The extreme case.
Yeah. It's like you could,
because he's gonna throw in a Kingdom Come.
Right. And he was watching iCarly at full volume, by the way. So you could hear it across the building.
Yeah.
Like this thing was loud. So this kid is he's not all there, and
he is watching iCarly.
That's true. And his mom is not controlling him at all.
Nice.
He's just like free spirit doing
she
whatever.
loves that
Yeah.
girl. She doesn't care.
Right. So this kid, he goes running behind the counter.
Ooh, man.
And like you're not allowed back there.
All right.
Yeah.
No duh, right?
Uh-huh.
He runs behind the counter. He throws his hands back, puts his head into the air, and just starts screaming at the top of his lungs.
God.
And I'm up there, and I am just trying to hold it. I almost lost it. I know I'm going to hell, but I was like trying not to laugh so bad.
Oh my god.
And the cook, Cho, I've talked about him before.
Yeah.
He's a G. Love Cho. He goes up to him and is like, "Hey man, do you want a Mountain Dew?" The kid goes, "Uh-huh."
Give the screaming child caffeine.
This
Great idea.
really comical voice. So he pours some Mountain Dew and he gives it to the kid, and the kid goes, and just starts running into the back, and we never saw him again.
He became one of the pizzas, dude.
He just
He
vanished.
jumped into the pizza oven.
So the only way we were able to find him is because we heard iCarly blasting in the corner.
I like the idea. It's dead silent in the back, and all you hear is "Give it!" And then you just like, "Oh, there he is."
I will never forget that one because I was up there standing in the corner just trying to live my life.
And this kid comes in fuming over the fact
He needed a Mountain Dew.
Oh, Phil, do you like iCarly?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
Phil, you've been.
I'm a little bit too old for that.
What about
Okay.
Drake and Josh?
Maybe. But
'Cause you're-
seeing like all the stuff that they had to go through,
Yeah.
no.
That's true.
Yeah.
Quiet on
So-
set. Fun fact. Watch it. It's pretty good. But anyway,
Yeah.
not good what happened, but very interesting documentary.
Well, that was a tough act to follow. Jesus.
You got this, Phil. I believe in you.
So, you might know this, Aaron. I don't
Okay.
know if you know this,
I probably don't.
but in my past life, I worked as a teacher.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
I-
What'd you teach?
I taught radio and TV.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, so I was teaching at this school. Oh, I have a lot of stories to tell. There was one time where students got tased in the cafeteria.
Nice.
It's not nice.
No.
Did they deserve it?
Well, they started a fight, so maybe.
That's
Yeah.
worth it to me.
But no, there was this one time. So at the school that I worked at, we had our usual 6-hour schedule, and then we had an advisory period in the middle of the day.
Sure.
And that was every day.
Yeah.
So, so in our advisory period, basically is like a homeroom. So I had, these kids come in, and, if kids from other classes want to come in and finish projects and stuff, I can have them do that. So this kid, I knew her from the year before, but she comes in, we say hi and all that, and she, does, she was working with a friend on something or whatever. All of a sudden, she just, just climbs up onto the top of the desk and starts singing for no reason.
What song?
I don't know, but it was, the funny thing is she did that for like 30 seconds. She came back down, and I told her, like, go back to class, and I never saw her again.
Was it at least like she was good at it?
She was okay.
That's even worse than being bad.
Just okay.
The Applebee's is singing.
Oh, man, but funny story. Man, some of these kids are just wild.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of the same thing. So I caught this kid skipping in one of the rooms. So how the setup for my room was, it wasn't a typical classroom. You had the classroom and the TV studio on the right side, and you had the radio station and then production studios on the left side.
Okay.
So I caught one of my kids somehow sneaking into the radio station, and I tell him, hey, why are you in the radio station? You're not supposed to be in here anyways. What are you doing? And then he says, shut the F up, fat ass.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
I was at this point in my time there, I was just so burnt out. I told him, as calmly as I could, come with me to my classroom. And I told him, you never, and I basically yelled at him for this.
Yeah.
You never say that to anybody, especially a person of authority. And I had to I put in a detention. I called his mom. I talked to his mom. He said, oh yeah, I'll take care of it. Next day comes by.
Same words.
He's all apologetic.
Oh,
so yeah. I guess he had a good, he had a good weapon at home. So,
right.
But that's how I quit my teaching job.
Yeah, no kidding.
Man.
But
wow.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I enjoyed it, but some of those kids, man, are just wild and crazy.
Yeah.
And going back to, the fight that started. I was
about to say, like, you were like kind of like you let us on with tasing and like where's this going?
Yeah. So going back to my first few weeks at the school that I worked at. So there was a fight that gone on. It was between I think four kids from the alternative school that was also housed in the building. And so it was them and then 4 other students. And so they fought. Police had to get involved.
Okay.
And then, this was towards the end of, so at the school that I worked at, we had 3 lunch periods. This is towards the end of the 3rd lunch period.
Okay.
So all this goes down, and then all of a sudden, because my room is right by the lunchroom.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I see like 300 students run to the cafeteria, trying to get a glimpse of what's happening right there. And then all of a sudden, the police start tasing these kids because they're resisting.
Yeah.
And so in total, there were like, out of the 10 people involved, I think there were 2 or 3 that were, tased. And then there was, I think, a couple more that got arrested. And then there was just like 400 bystanders in the lunchroom. Like
just making bets.
Just making bets. I'm like, what are you doing?
Will it hit the parlay?
Who's getting 10 leg parlay? Who's getting tased next? Tammy, I know it's you. Dude,
what's the over under?
Wow.
The over under getting tased. Dude, I would. Okay, hear me out. Sports betting hasn't gone far enough. Hear me out. I would bet on literally anything that isn't sports. I would bet on who would get a 36 on their ACTs, a 600 on their SATs, like any like menial thing.
600 on your SATs? It's like writing your name.
1600, I meant. Sorry, the max. But I would bet.
You could bet on the Paralympics.
That's not good enough.
Fun fact, that's true. You can actually bet on the Paralympics.
Dude, I need to go further.
Whoever did that's going to hell.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Whoever at FanDuel said, yeah, Paralympics. Why not?
They're going, what are you talking about? That's more money for the economy. That's heaven material.
Oh, okay.
What's next? First grade PE? Like, who's going to be...
All right. Little Jimmy's running back. It's like a horse race.
Betting on field
which team's
day.
going to win the kickball competition?
Oh,
I
my
like the gym
Lord.
teacher's like sitting there just like, come on.
Ah, dang it, Jimmy. I wasted $50 on you.
Oh, my God. God, but anyway, back to betting on who's getting tased.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
But,
All year round.
wow.
That school was wild.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was there for a year and a half.
Okay.
But yeah, there were fights going on all the time. There was a day where we had 7 fights.
Let's go.
In one day.
One for each period.
Basically.
Wow.
It's, yeah.
Were they just like petty fights or just like, oh, this was building up?
Both.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I know you don't want to name like the school specifically, that's fine. But was it kind of like inner city sort of?
yeah,
Okay.
suburban inner city.
Okay.
So the
makes
Detroit area
sense.
listeners may know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
now.
All
right.
right.
Right. If you're local, maybe.
Right. Sorry, Belgium guy.
Yeah, sorry, Belgium guy.
You'll never know.
The Belgium guy's got like the perfect school. It's like nothing bad.
No
ever
one's
happens
getting
there.
tased over there.
Yeah.
There's no problem here.
There's no
There's
problem.
no problem.
Yeah.
That's WPON.
I'm getting tased at PON.
Dude, taste the board.
Speaking of illegal things happening at PON, I don't know if I got to this in the first work stories. Did I talk about the cocaine?
No.
What?
Yeah. Mhm. Yep.
Did I never tell you the cocaine story?
Excuse me, what?
So I'm just going to get this whole...
Phil, were you taking part?
No.
Because you're going, yeah.
Dude, he's ready for the cocaine.
No, it's a bit of an okay lot that time. But, we'll get it right the next time.
Can we get one more revolving door show just on cocaine?
I'm good.
Okay.
I think some complications would come from that one.
Rick? Yeah, right. So I was not there for this, but this is like the porn on the TV at Zap Zone.
Right. It's all just
this story has been told like ages, right? Has been passed down, right?
Been passed down from generation to generation.
Right.
It's the family heirloom of WPO.
Yeah.
It's the oral storytelling.
Oh yeah. So there was this show that used to be on, and it was called the Danco Show.
What does that mean?
And so this guy, I guess his name was Danco, or like is his last name? I don't know. But
his cousin was Acme.
But anyways, this guy named Danco. That's all we knew about him. He was a lunatic.
Nice.
This guy was out of his mind.
Why?
So before I get to the illegal drugs, he had a whole segment for basically the entire run of his program, which wasn't super long, and you'll find out why in a minute. For basically the entire duration of his show, he played a Dolly Parton song every single day until Dolly Parton called in. Now keep in mind, he's on WNZK. Dolly Parton is not listening to WNZK.
You don't know that.
That's not happening.
You don't know that.
To be fair, well, actually, Tammy Wynette used to listen to WNZK, but that's, a whole other thing.
Right.
But, no, he played a Dolly Parton song every time, and of course, Dolly Parton never called in. He was crazy. He was insane. He was, like, truly insane, because so, Mikey, one of the board operators there, we love Mikey. Mikey has all the stories. He knows all of them. Oh. He will be another group for Work Stories Part 3.
Oh, my God.
But,
the ongoing saga.
The ongoing saga, yeah. But...
the never-ending story.
He said that he was running Danco's board, and Danco goes, "You want to do a little cocaine?"
Like when he opens up the board and just there it is.
Yeah, right. It's just hidden in there. So he goes, "Yeah, you want to do a little cocaine?"
Oh, that's where my secret stash went.
Right. So Mikey goes, "No, I don't want to do any cocaine."
He's like, "Your loss."
Yeah. And so, yeah, he tried to do cocaine in the studio. And his show got terminated not long afterwards. Yeah. He also tried to commit copyright fraud.
Oh, nice.
But
how do you do it?
So there was a show, Bob Allison used to do a show on there. It was called Ask Your Neighbor. And it was basically like an advice show. Like you'd call in and say like, "Hey, something," and he would talk to you about it.
What if my kids just got tased?
Right.
What do I do about it?
So Danco tried to start a sequel called Ask the Neighbor, which of course infringed on copyright, and it was a copyright fraud, copyright infringement.
Yes.
And so this was
if
after
anyone decides to chart the revolving door.
Right. So this was after Bob Allison had passed, and so Bob Allison's estate contacted Danco. Was like, "Hey, buddy, here's your court date," and that was the true end of the Danco saga.
Dude, where is he now?
Nobody knows.
Jail?
Probably. I can imagine jail as being a good place for Danco.
I feel like he'd be a good... I think he's after-hours material.
You gotta get Danco in here doing cocaine during the podcast.
No, I don't even care about the cocaine part. I was just more interested in the copyright infringement part. To me, that's funnier.
Oh, okay.
Anyone could do drugs. Not anyone could do copyright infringement. That's a choice. Drugs, once you're in, you're in. It just kind of becomes second nature. Copyright infringement, that's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not that funny.
That's really funny. Oh, my Lord.
Phil, have you ever infringed copyright before?
No, I haven't.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, I know.
I'll have to kick you off then.
Copyright infringement, people only.
Yeah, it's the prereq.
Yeah. There was a story you were telling me about a TV station going haywire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I worked in TV operations for the state of Ohio. That was my first professional job out of college.
Oh, wow.
And so how it all works is sort of like what you do with the radio station here. It's like there's automation, for each channel. You have certain programs that go on the air, and through the magic of television, it goes on the air. And so there was this guy from one of the stations that we ran I think 11 stations at the time, and from one of the stations, this guy was I'll just say his name straight up. His name was Greg. Think he was like Yosemite Sam, but like a million times more stressed. And
wow.
So like he would send a playlist over and he would say, "Oh, I just wanted to let you know."
Gotta let a little Pee Wee Herman in there
exactly.
too.
Yeah. But no, he was calling me for something else one day, and he was having a conversation. He's like, "What just happened?" So the
Ow!
yeah. So at that point, like slowly one channel goes off the air, then another channel goes off the air, like Columbus off the air, Cincinnati off the air, Dayton off the air, Bowling Green off the air, and we're like, what's going on here? So of course he was freaking out. Myself and my coworker were freaking out.
Yeah.
And of course this is a situation where our on-call engineer has to come in.
Yeah.
So turns out our on-call engineer is 45 minutes away.
Oh.
And so if you know anything about TV, if something happens, it's got to be resolved like that in an instant. Of course.
Right.
So he comes in, he resolved the situation. It had been 2 hours.
Woo.
And so as part of our sort of job duties, if there's an incident that came up, we had to basically, give a description of what happened for each individual channel. So I had to look at the time that the interruption started and the time the interruption ended for each individual channel. And all in all, that took the station went off the air probably about 7:30 at night. All told, it was done. We were done putting in the tickets by midnight. So it was. That was fun.
No, I believe it.
I have another Greg story for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twofer.
So,
all right.
Greg, he called up because I guess there was something that happened with one of the programs earlier in the day or whatever. And so, he calls me, and then he has the bright idea to put in a conference call with the station's engineer. So, and he was already stressed. He's like, "Oh, this what happened. And he calls up the engineer. So he's describing it in his very stressed Yosemite Sam like way. And then all we hear while he's, I don't know what the right term for this is, sort of ranting about what happened.
Okay.
All of a sudden, the engineer, Tim, goes, "Shut up, Greg! Shut up! Shut up!"
Wow.
And he says, "Phil, I'll call you back later." And then he just hang up and call me back, and we got the issue resolved. But, oh my God, that guy was a character.
I believe it. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It really is crazy. It really is crazy.
Oh my God, I'm just thinking the scene from like Undercover Cop or whatever. The one with Arnold Schwarzenegger was the
Kindergarten Cop?
Kindergarten Cop, there it is.
Kindergarten
Forgot the
Cop,
name.
yeah.
We're just going, "Shut up!"
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Speaking of young children.
Uh-oh.
I don't like how this is segueing.
This is going to be really good or really bad.
This-
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I promise this is not creepy at all.
All right, time freak.
Okay.
Yeah. Hang on.
It's got to recover.
Give me a minute. I already got stuff to cut.
Time freak is freaking out over there.
Okay. Is that my new nickname, Time Freak?
Yep.
Okay.
You know what you did.
I know my crimes.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Continue.
Yes, continue. Okay. So there was this one time, there was this birthday party that came in, and there was this little kid. He was like probably 5,
Very
right?
punchable.
Very punchable, yes. Oh, he was, very, very punchable. So he was walking around the Zap Zone without a parent.
Yeah.
Just, wandering around, right?
Okay.
And he was kind of freaking out, too, of course, right? He's a little kid, can't find his parents,
Yeah.
He's Yeah, he's freaking out. And
why you sound so joyful telling this story?
Because it's funny.
You'd be a great parent.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I'm not.
I'm glad you don't have kids yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Or at all. But anyways, so this kid's freaking out. He's, and he's walking around. And so the little kid goes up the front counter, I guess. And the manager, Devin, he's like, Aaron, because I was up there too. He's like, Aaron, go find this kid's parent. I'm like, what? Okay. There's like a lot of people there today, but okay, sure, whatever, right? So I was responsible for like walking this kid around trying to find his parent. He walks over to the front door, and right next to the front door is the fire alarm.
Oh!
And this kid starts reaching for the fire alarm. And I'm like, no. It was like slow motion. I'm running towards this kid.
Think Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, basically. And I was like, no, you're not pulling the fire alarm. And so we're walking around, and eventually we get him back to the party room, and it was like, hey, is this your kid? It's like, oh, yeah, that's my kid. Okay. Take care of him. Don't let him walk around. He tried to pull the fire alarm. And she just didn't care.
Yeah.
That, it's my kid's pulling the fire alarm. Why not?
It happens at home.
Yeah, right. It's a weekly occurrence. So, yeah. I'll never forget that. Trying to manage, try to pull every fire alarm.
So you've managed kids before.
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of managing kids.
Oh boy.
I think I told you this story.
I think so.
So I had a kid who in one of my classes who was not in my class at all during
there.
Yeah, he was just there. I guess because one of his friends was in the class.
Okay.
So he would come in from time to time and then just bust in and start
like Kramer from Seinfeld, just like boom.
Basically,
Jerry.
And
I'm here to interrupt
like,
the class.
literally in the middle of class, he would start rizzing me up. I'm like, what are you doing?
Wait, gender of kid.
Male.
Happy Pride Month.
Oh my God. Charles Robinson, offender at law.
You're the one who got rizzed up by a 12-year-old or something. Wow, what? Was it like good riz or just like, hey?
No, it was.
You'd never want to come back to this podcast.
Yeah.
It's your one and only. That's it.
I'm like, no. You need to leave.
Like, it was like bad pickup lines.
Yes, yeah. That kid.
Hey, do you want to study? Because we got to hit the books.
No.
At the time freak.
You mean a time freak. What do you say?
Well.
God.
No.
This isn't my work story.
Oh,
this
boy.
is one of my friend's work stories.
Oh, okay.
So my friend, this was last year. She worked as like a camp counselor for like a golf camp or whatever for like
Okay.
5-year-olds,
Oh, boy.
for like 5-year-olds or whatever, because she does golf at Hope College. She's very good.
Okay.
So these kids are 5 or 6 or whatever. They can barely like formulate sentences, let alone swing a ball. So level of talent we're dealing with.
Why would you even start a club for kids that young?
Because the parents have money and the kids don't have a choice. That's the way it is. And that's just how suburbia works. But anyway.
That's just how suburbia works.
Right. So she's making sure the kids don't like get eaten by a bear or whatever, like you do at golf camp in Michigan. And
yes, all those bear attacks.
sorry. And like the kids are like not, good at the game obviously because they're 5. And this kid goes up to her and like just yells the F word at her. not like angrily, like he genuinely knew what the word was used for. Just like went up to her and went, yeah. And she's like, you can't say that.
Oh,
and
Yeah,
she's
he definitely learned that word from his parents.
Well, no, that's where this part of the story comes in. He's like, really? But my dad says it at home all the time. And she's like, at that point, she just feels sad. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Okay. But you can't say. He's like, oh, okay. Fuck! Says it again? I think so. I don't know. The way she told me the story the other day is like he just kept going for it.
Round 2.
Electric
Electric
Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Kids
wow.
swearing is the dumbest but funniest thing in the world.
It really is.
Yeah, it really
Seeing
is.
little Timmy just say
The F word.
right. This is
Says
a family
the
show.
word, right.
There
we're not
goes your
supposed to-
contract with iHeart, buddy.
Yeah, right. Remember, we're not supposed to say family show anymore?
I mean, it's a running joke that we're a family show at this point.
Yeah.
But are we really a family
No.
show?
We're a family show in like jest only.
We're a family show when it's about worst case scenario.
Oh my god, dude. That show proved why we can't be a family show.
Yeah.
God, that's like
The only family that would enjoy it is Frank from Wild Lakes.
because
Oh,
Frank's insane. Frank, we love you, but let's be honest. You got like you're not all. The kids to be credit. If you're part of the Revolving Door or Double After Hours podcast, you're not all there anyway. So equal opportunity
Amen.
insanity. But exactly, amen. Thank you. But like. Frank, he put us on a smart fridge once. I'm not putting anything past him.
Phil brought a speaker with him to listen to us on the go.
Was that Frank? Oh, you mean Frank?
That was Frank, yeah.
You said Phil.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Phil,
Frank.
did you?
I'm not that insane.
Okay.
Give it time.
He'll eventually reach Frank levels
I mean,
of
you're
insane.
moving away in a bit. Like you're gonna miss us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta come back.
You're gonna get the itch, Phil.
The revolving door itch.
The Revolving Door After Hours.
Well, I mean,
itch.
I already had it with my last show.
Yes, you
Well,
did.
Your whole tribute show. That's what it was.
So funny.
The Revolving Door tribute show for the two people who missed it.
On Elder Abuse Awareness Day, no less.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. That's the best day to bring it back.
There you go.
And that's an episode. Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Future Aaron, you're going to have to cut a lot of stuff out of
No, you won't.
Yeah.
I mean, besides like maybe random mouth. No, also we've been like for all the stories we've told today. Which again, thank you, Phil, for coming on.
Yes.
It's been a very fun
Oh,
episode.
yeah. You're welcome back anytime if you
course.
want to come back.
here. Watch your back.
Right?
Just like like you're playing Time Freak or whatever. He just gets you.
Hey, what's up?
He introduces himself with a box of
A box of directs.
just like, hey, being a little time freaky.
Oh, it's never going to let down.
Time Freak is the funniest thing in the world now. Oh my god! But thank you, Phil, for coming on.
Yes,
It's an absolute pleasure.
Coming out in the rain, too.
In the rain. I don't
Is
know
it
if
still
it's
raining?
I don't know. I think I heard of the weather radio upstairs go off,
Like,
so
it
I
said
don't
it
know.
was gonna rain last night.
What are you
Because
going to say the weather now, Aaron?
Yeah. No.
Everyone's
No.
perfect. For
I
elder abuse.
listened to your first show, Aaron.
Yeah. Now bring it back. Oh yeah. I sent him our first revolving
Why would
door
you do that?
punishment. But so he listened to it.
It is punishment.
There's
Why?
There's
What'd you do?
There's proto weather in there.
No way.
If you listen, you'll hear proto weather, and it's like it's the worst thing ever.
Oh my god.
And listening to him now on that other station,
Oh yeah.
it's like night and day. I'm
Oh,
like,
it is that
oh,
day.
yeah.
I don't know how he did it on Monday. We both had 4 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
Really?
and he's doing his thing. I'm trying to keep up. I'm like, I don't know how to follow up with this.
Yeah. You just got to be awake and ready.
Right.
And on there we have sponsored weather. They pay me to do the weather.
Didn't pay us to do it. We did it for the love of the game, which is why we didn't do that. often.
Looking out the weather window, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. There's a
And
tornado.
it's gone.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for joining us for Work
Yeah.
Stories Part 2. Work Stories Part 3 coming soon.
Who knows?
Most likely.
Because we still need to hear Bryce and Shane's work stories
Yes.
when they choose to get off of work.
Live from work.
Hey, Bryce, what are you doing right now? He's just not.
You just hear like a
You hear the
crusty
random
phone
beeps
call.
in the background.
Yeah. You just hear near, near, near.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for joining us, Phil. Again,
That's like the fourth time.
I know. But thanks for joining us. Charlie, thanks for coming out
Of
and
course.
for this episode. And It's been a lot better than
worst case scenario.
I've been
dogging on that episode.
Yeah, because it's not good. Bryce is gonna be like, "Oh, it's my favorite one,"
because I was in it.
Right. Oh man. Well, anyways, I'm Aaron Gresser.
I'm Charlie Robison.
I'm Phil Arcaro.
And thanks for staying after hours and putting up with our nonsense.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Double After Hours podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to check out our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm Aaron Gresser, and thanks for staying after hours.